It's time for a Bible story. A long time ago, there lived a man named Joseph. And Joseph and his family lived in the land of Canaan.
Canaan. I've heard that name before. Oh, isn't that the place with the really good chicken strips?
No, that's Raising Cane's, and it's a restaurant. Canaan was a country, like thousands of years ago.
Ah, gotcha. So that's Joseph right there, huh? And I guess those are all the people that lived in his village?
Actually, that's just Joseph's family.
All of those people? Seriously?
You bet. Joseph had a really big family. In fact, he had 11 brothers.
Whoa, that would be awesome to have that many brothers. You could have your own football team, or 2 basketball teams, or 6 tennis teams.
Okay, we get it. And actually, it wasn't all that awesome for Joseph. His brothers didn't like him at all. In fact, they kind of hated him.
How come?
Well, Joseph was his dad's favorite son. His father Jacob loved him like crazy. He thought he was the coolest, best, most awesome kid in the world.
Aren't you not supposed to have a favorite kid? That's parenting 101. Or at least just keep that on the down low, I'm clearly my mom's favorite kid, but you don't hear her blabbing about it all the time.
Well, Jacob didn't keep it on the down low at all. He made it very clear that Joseph was his favorite son by giving him a special gift.
Ooh, what'd he get? A solid gold Xbox? A diamond-encrusted fidget spinner? An Xbox made out of gold and diamond fidget spinners?
No, because those things don't exist. His dad gave him a coat.
What? That's kind of a lame present. That's like getting underwear for Christmas.
Well, actually, back then it was a pretty special gift. This coat had all these different colors and the fabric was super nice. It was incredible. But of course, not everybody liked this coat that Joseph had.
Let me guess, his brothers.
Yep. When his brothers saw him get this nice coat, they got super jealous and extra mean to him. But then, something happened one day that made it a lot worse.
What happened?
Well, Joseph started to have some interesting dreams at night while he was sleeping. And these were different than any dreams that he'd had before.
Ah, classic case of the old weird dream, huh? Been there. One time, I had this dream that my hands were feet, and my feet were hands, and I had mouths on my knees.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there. That's super weird. Joseph's dreams were not like that at all, but they were still pretty interesting. One night, he dreamed that he and his brothers were working in the field collecting wheat, when all of a sudden, Joseph's bundle of wheat stood up tall, and the bundles that his brothers were collecting all bowed down to it.
Whoa, I mean, that's a pretty weird dream.
Well, at least he didn't have mouths on his knees.
Yeah, you got me there.
Another time, Joseph dreamed that the sun, the moon, and 11 stars all bowed down to him.
I'm sensing a theme here. Something about things bowing down to Joseph. But what could it mean?
Well, here's the deal. These dreams weren't just random. They actually meant something, and they came from God. God gave Joseph those dreams to tell him something, to show him that he had big plans for his life.
So what happened next?
Well, after Joseph had those dreams, he told his family all about them.
Probably not the best idea, dude. Your 11 brothers don't really like you. They probably don't want to hear a dream about them bowing down to you. Did it, make them mad?
Oh yeah.
Really mad?
Yup. So mad, in fact, that they actually started planning a way to get rid of Joseph. They thought about just killing him.
Yikes, that escalated quickly.
But then they came up with a way to get rid of him and make some money at the same time.
Man, these guys are some serious jerks.
No kidding. They all ganged up on Joseph, ripped off his fancy coat, and threw him in a well. Later, a caravan passed by and they pulled him out of the well.
Oh, thank goodness.
And sold him off as a slave.
What? Come on, man.
They laughed and counted their money as Joseph was carried off by the slave traders, headed for a life of back-breaking work in a strange foreign land.
Man, that's rough.
Then, to cover their tracks, they all made up a story to tell their dad. They took Joseph's fancy coat, ripped it to shreds, and put animal blood all over it. They showed it to their father and said that Joseph was killed by a wild animal.
And he believed them?
Well, yeah.
Man, these brothers are just the worst. Never mind, I don't want to be on a football team with these guys. You ever scored a touchdown or made a good play? They just try and kill you.
I wouldn't be surprised. Jacob was heartbroken about Joseph. As far as he knew, his favorite son was gone forever.
Man, this story has some seriously tough stuff. I thought you said that Joseph's life was gonna be all special, but so far it's just sad and whatnot. You gotta warn me next time.
Well, just wait and see, because the story is totally not over yet. Yeah, Joseph's life started kind of rough, and honestly, it's not all smooth sailing from here. But even when his circumstances didn't look great, God never left him and still had an amazing plan for his life.
So wait, that's not the end?
Oh no, this story's just getting started. Under the control of the slave traders. He was forced to walk for miles and miles in his chains with no idea where he was going.
Man, that sounds kind of scary.
No kidding. They led Joseph all the way to the land of Egypt.
Whoa, like Egypt? Egypt? Like where the pyramids are?
You bet.
Dag, yo, that's like way far away.
It sure was. And that only made things worse. Not only would he be forced to work as a slave, but he was so far away from home. He didn't speak their language and he wasn't used to their food. It was not a great situation.
Man, I wish he wasn't so alone like that.
Well, he might have felt like he was alone, but he actually wasn't. The Bible says that even in this rough situation, the Lord was with him. He never left Joseph, and he still had big plans for his life.
Like even in a really bad spot like this?
Totally. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Soon after he came to Egypt, he was sold to a man named Potiphar.
Wait, what's that guy's name? Pot of fur?
No.
Honda bird?
No, say it after me. Potiphar.
Potty turd.
No! Come on, man. That's not even close.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to say potty.
Potiphar was a very wealthy man. In fact, he was one of the Pharaoh's officials.
Whoa, that's a pretty big deal, huh? Isn't Pharaoh like the leader of all of Egypt?
Sure is. So this meant Potiphar had a lot of power and lived in a nice big house.
Hey, that's kind of cool, actually. I mean, even though he's a slave, at least he gets to live like in a house and do some cool work indoors, huh?
Exactly. That's one way that God took care of Joseph through this whole deal.
Gotcha. So that's what you were saying about how no matter the circumstances, God's big plans are still working.
Now you're starting to get it.
So what happened next? Did he just like live it up working in that sweet mansion, mowing the yard, dusting the statues, cleaning the pool?
Not exactly. For a while, everything actually seemed to be going okay. Until something bad happened.
Of course it did. Can't have too much good stuff happening for old Joseph, can we? Something's gotta come along and mess it all up. What happened? Did Joseph like make a mistake or something?
No, actually, Joseph didn't do anything wrong. But Potiphar's wife was not a great person, and she lied about Joseph and got him in big trouble.
But you said he didn't do anything wrong. How come he got in big trouble?
Well, he was still just a lowly slave boy, so Potiphar actually sided with his wife.
Oh man, that stinks. So what happened? Did he just like go work for somebody else?
No, actually, he got thrown into prison.
Wait, what? That double stinks, but he didn't do anything. All right, Joseph, time to lawyer up. Be all like, I'll see you in court, lady. You're trying to lie about me and send me to jail? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Okay, calm down. That's not really how it worked back then. If someone like Potiphar wanted you to go to jail, you went to jail.
Man, this is all just a big old bologna cramwich with extra bogus sauce and a side of ripoff.
I know, but remember, even in all those dark times, the Lord was still with Joseph.
Wait, but how? His situation keeps getting worse and worse. First, he's thrown into a pit by his jerk brothers. Then he gets sold into slavery. Then he gets lied about by some jerk lady and thrown into a stinking rat-infested prison.
That's true. His circumstances weren't all that great, but God still had a great, big, awesome plan for his life. And even in the hard times, the Lord was with him.